All right, the swine flu situation. The swine flu situation is just kind of like one of those things that is kind of another convenience that's happening right now as far as the world is concerned, because now it has turned into an epidemic, 2 stages away from a pandemic. And I'm not throwing out any conspiracy theories or any thoughts that are just my thoughts, because I have talked with a couple other people about this. And as of today, this is one of the convenient thoughts that I had about this, is that it's just kind of funny to both myself and a couple other people that it's only allied countries at this particular point that are being affected. Canada, which really I guess is just there, Israel, the UK, certain parts of the Middle East and Asia Pacific, in one case in Costa Rica, just to throw us off. But I think Costa Rica is an ally also. And I just kind of find it curious as to, with all the air travel and travel period that we have the means to have these days, and watching the news yesterday morning, they were talking about air travel itself over the U.S., and they said at this time there was over 1,100 planes. I think it was 1,134 planes in the air just over the U.S. Now, my math isn't exact on this, but 1,100, let's just say hypothetically, there's 100 people per plane, okay? And that's a good round figure. That's over 100,000 people in the air at that particular moment, just over the U.S., not counting the rest of the world or the ones that were over the seas. And we're supposed to sit here and believe that just certain airplanes are interacting, and all these people just going through the airports, rushing and doing them what they're doing to get home, and that nobody else in the world other than U.S. allies have gone to or come in contact with people from Mexico. It's just kind of funny to me. You don't hear any cases in Iran, Pakistan, Africa, Egypt, which is in Africa, so I guess that's not really relevant. But it's just kind of funny how that works, and I just think we need to be aware of what's going on around us and think about things sometimes. And then there's the whole Twitter rumor going around, says that you can contract the virus by eating pork. Well, anybody with any type of common sense whatsoever knows that you cannot contract most, if any, viruses through ingestion, not even the HIV virus. A study was done a long time ago that says that you would have to drink at least a gallon of saliva from a person infected with the HIV virus before you would even have a chance to contract it, due to the fact that the enzymes and acids both in your mouth and your stomach would kill the virus on contact. Being that this is an airborne virus, would be the direct opposite, not an immunity virus. And especially for those of you out there like I do, I cook my meat. That didn't sound right, but you get the idea. I cook my pork. That still didn't sound right. Anyway, you know what I'm talking about. Cook your food before you eat it in the first place. And if you cook it to the required temperatures, which I like my pork well done, I might not have even picked this subject. But anyway, you can't get it from eating pork, all right? I don't know who started that rumor, and I don't know who these honiacs out there are that are believing it. Oh, man. But anyway, you know, it's just kind of convenient and kind of funny that both the swine flu and the presidential airplane happening, and then there's a whole social sites and a big uproar now because of the Craigslist killer. Matter of fact, is that the guy right there? Yeah, that's him right there. Oh, here we go. He was guilty. He pled not guilty to murder, kidnapping, and robbery. So here's this guy. What's his name? What's his name? Philip Markoff. Markoff. That just sounds like a murder right there in itself with a name like that. Markoff. Dead. But anyway, this guy right here has got everybody in an uproar on the social sites and got everybody running scared to even attempt to meet someone on this site. And we're actually going to do a video on Craigslist because I just went there for whatever, for giggle's sake, and looked at our region from New Orleans to Mobile to see what kind of postings were on there. And I just looked at the women, women for men, and some of the lines that these women, and most of the women you'll notice on whenever you watch the video, have the same opening line. I'm not going to mention what it is, but it's just, it's a direct turnoff to a man out there if any women are watching this video. All right? And whenever you watch the Craigslist video, don't use that opening line because you're not going to get my attention. And when I was reading this off, it was actually live streaming because this was like 3:30 in the morning. And it was like, I don't know how, I get more people at 3:30 in the morning than I do at this time of the day, which is 3:30 in the afternoon. It's kind of crazy. But anyway, we're going to go over that later. But the whole scope of the media right now is focusing in on 3 subjects. All right? And I'm just wondering, is there something larger, something bigger brewing in the background? And these stories that not the media so much as the higher powers that be are not controlling it, but using it to condition us to not pay attention to something else that's happening. All right, because you don't hear but a 10-second spot saying Houston got 11 inches of rain in 24 hours, or the 10-second spot where Baltimore, Maryland was under 2 feet of water from a water main being broken, or that another attempt was made by a group of Chinese peoples that were, nerds, geeks, were forced into hacking into one of our mainframes again. You didn't hear about all that, did you? And there's so many other stories that should be in the forefront that aren't even being mentioned. Or when they are, it's like, so what, America's flooding. And in other news, in New Zealand, I mean, it's stupid, But, we're the same people, though, that send Hillary Clinton to Iraq, and the day she shows up, there's all these bombings happening, and like 138 people get killed, and she goes on to her speech and goes on with her day and says, they're just bombing people because they're pissed off because your government's working. Well, I got a problem with that also. It's just like our government's not working because the president doesn't even know his plane got jacked, just as their government's not working because they can't stop the bombers. And if that's what they're saying, that government is working, then I would be afeared to know what would happen if the government wasn't working. It's just kind of crazy, man. So we got all this stuff that's going on, and it's all because of global warming. And I'm going to end it there because I want to get onto the Craigslist video and start doing the edit on that. So remember, everybody out there, all I'm saying is be aware of what's going on. And I hope nothing else is happening, but it's just kind of convenient to me, just funny to me and a lot of other people that just like last time something big happened, our minds were someplace else. All right? One more example is when gas was $4 a gallon. And then President Bush came on and said, we're in a financial crisis. Everybody's broke. And then now we're in a recession, and gas is the direct opposite of what it actually should be, which is what, $2 a gallon now. So go figure. Just be aware, stay alert, stay alive, and it's a craft of the mind. Go out there and have some fun.